from Pacific Northwest Bushcraft. I get a lot of questions about the Haversack. This is one I designed myself. We don't sell these yet, but we're going to at some point. I've gone through a lot of Haversacks. I've gone through Duluth packs, some of the more common ones, but they all are designed with a kind of just two pieces of fabric sewn together and with a flap. Problem with that is as soon as you start putting stuff in, it starts to bind up and you lose a lot of, the last 4 inches or so. I kind of added this whole square all the way around, and with the addition of that, I've put pockets on the inside to basically store my gear. So when I pull open my flap, I can reach in. I know exactly where everything is. Previous Haversacks had to dig around, start pulling stuff out. A little bit more secure. The other thing is I added a large leather shoulder strap. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but long hours with a Haversack on, you have a tendency to kind of start digging into the shoulders. Even at the 2-inch fabric, those kind of bind up and come to a pinch point. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through this pack and basically show you what I carry in it and some of the stuff that we made for this. So let's get started with it. One of the first features is I put a handle on it. A lot of the woods that we go through, constantly got to pick your pack up and drag it through the brush and everything. This is kind of a rare spot. This is an opening in the middle of all of this. Having the handle is really convenient for taking it on and off. Just grabbing it, picking it up, walking around with it while you're setting up camp. One of the other features I really like about it is if you got a tree, you just hang it in the tree and there it is. It's off the ground. A lot of times the ground is just saturated in water. This here's a little different. We've record-breaking amount of dry, sunny days we've had. I think we're on 54, I believe. So, anyways, let's get started. Large flap oversea. This is Scout the Wonder Dog. She's always here on the adventures with me. Here, Scout, go get a rock. Go. Anyways, let's start off with first thing I always pull out is a PNWBushcraft ground cloth. A lot of people have seen this in action, love it. I'll do a video on this later, but for right now, I'm just going to say it's a very handy tool to have. I'll lay this out. Haversack carries the PNWBushcraft logo. This is one of the Velcro ones. Take it off, put it on, switch other patches out. Haven't yet. Someday when I get some patches, some really good patches, I'll put them on here. One of the things I carry on the outside is the PNW foraging pouch. Quick, easy access. Open up bag. I can fill in all my tinder bundles, gathering timber, berries, if I'm foraging and stuff. When I'm done, just fold it up, snap it back into place. Got 2 snaps in the back. Sometimes I can leave the Haversack, just clip it onto my belt, go from there. Next, good pair of leather gloves. Real good pair of leather gloves means a lot. I'm constantly going through the trails and breaking branches and trying to create more trail systems, prevent eye pokers, and just kind of create open lanes to see through. A lot of shrub brush that we got to work through. So good pair of leather gloves, great for around camp. It's a must-have. Next is the sniper's veil. A lot of people carry shamogs. I like multi-purpose stuff. This one here is pretty good size. I use this from scrubbing pants to keeping shade to tying it up together to kind of create a fishnet sometimes. One of the great things about this is if you're trying to watch wildlife or something, you can kind of drape this over yourself, over your head, still see through it. I like to kind of roll around, throw some brush on me and stuff, and you blend right in. It keeps you cool, wrapping around your neck. Okay. Next is obviously the good old-fashioned cook stuff, or a cup for drinking water and stuff. So this is one of the PNWBushcraft tobacco pouches. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not a big smoker, but I do use mine for holding all my coffee and creamer and stir sticks. You can see inside there. It's great for keeping everything organized, waterproof, as long as you treat it. Easy little toggle to keep it together. I actually got a couple of these in here for organizing stuff. Next is a nice little Boy Scout hatchet. I repurposed and everything. Made the leather sheath for it. It was pretty rusted. Cleaned it all up. Fits in the pack. It's nice for busting stuff up, clearing brush. This is old fishing bank line. I've picked this up, wrapped it up. It's nice for getting a nice good grip when I'm doing some fine woodworking and carving. Very, very sharp. One of the things you're going to find with my kit is that a lot of the stuff inside here is tool heavy, and that's due to the fact that I'm constantly out in the woods trying to make stuff, build stuff, trying to perfect my skills and my craft. Another wax canvas ditty bag with a water bottle and the cup, lid, Snow Peak spork. One of the other things I carry in here is a Bushcraft Essential Stove. You can see that. I keep it in this little bag because for multiple use and stuff, it gets pretty dirty from all the wood and pitch and what have you. So I keep it a nice little wax covered. Great little stove. Wait to learn how to use it. Man, that thing just will work anywhere. Next is another one of those tobacco pouches. This is the tan one. This one I think I keep some fat wood in this one, a sharpening stone, some little tool maintenance equipment, a couple little bags for if I want to grab samples or something. And each one comes with a flannel side with a nice, soft spot for, pipe or whatever. Jute twine. I use jute twine all the time. For wood starter, easy for creating shelters. Cut it up, let it go, biodegradable, cheap as all get out. If you're hearing the gunshots, it's from next valley over. There's a gravel pit over there that people are shooting from. So always have some paracord. I keep a little bit, setting traps, whatever. It's good to have. Next is heavy duty rope. It's not very long. It's probably about, say, maybe a 5-foot chunk, but it's very, very strong. This goes with the PNWBushcraft ground cloth for making hammock chairs and bushcraft chairs. I also use it as it's thick enough that I can use it as a sling for when I turn it into a bag. Next is an awl. This awl I made myself. This one comes from just a piece of deer antler. Made the leather sheath that goes with it. They fit together nice and neat, nice and tight. A lot of craft. I use it for, gathering birch bark, putting holes in, if I make a whistle in the woods or something. Good tool to have. Next is my crooked knife. If you're not familiar with these, this is, if you're into doing woodcraft, this is the tool to have. It's real easy, quick, fast way of carving for spoons. It's wrapped in a deer elk hide because it is extremely sharp, and I've made sheaths for it, but it always cuts through them. So here's the blade. You can get a good picture of that. It's kind of a draw knife, spoon gouge, shaving knife. It's only sharpened on one side, so it's got a beveled edge, and it's a quick tool for making a lot of stuff. I've made bowls, cups, spoons, real quick with this. Takes a little getting used to because you're carving backwards, or you're having to use two hands to use the gouge to smoothly cut through. But once you get it, it's a really good tool to have. Next is a Kodak film canister I have. It's wrapped in a couple Ranger bands. Inside I carry a compass, a wood whistle, another piece of paracord, pocket bellows, a mirror, and a small Leatherman tool, and a pocket mirror. This is some of our Woodsman's wax. I use this for wounds or taking care of waterproofing some of the wax canvas. Blanket pin left over in there. This tin's pretty tough. I've used it quite a bit. I've been dragging it through the woods for quite a few years now, and it's still holding tough. I mean, it's really, really, really strong. Next is my traditional tobacco holder. This is my fire kit, so it has, the built-in lens, and I keep some pieces of fat wood, flint and steel, quick fire starters, some jute twine, what have you in there. Yeah, this is kind of my go-to quick fire kit if I want to do it old-fashioned way. Next is my bandana. This one's got a star design on it. This comes from the Coulter company. Good company. They make some great bandanas. They got some great styles in there. Next is a small chunk of leather. Good to have for a pot handle. If you're poking something with an awl or something, you want something to backdrop in it, just in case. Put it on your lap if you're doing some fine carving or anything like that. Just a good utility tool to have. So now we're at the part of the bag. I can show you the interior of the bag. So you can see top lid, it's got a snap cover. It's a good map case. Throw a bandana in there. Every once in a while I'll throw in a guidebook or something. That way when I flip it open, unsnap it, reach in, grab the book, notepad, whatever. Inside is the compartmentalized, and there is 6 pockets, 4 deep, narrow, 2 shallow, wide. So what's left in there is the ever encompassing Baco Laplander. It's a good crafting tool. You're gonna wear your shoulders out trying to use it for firewood though. But I use it for doing a lot of craft projects, building shelters, fine woodworking. It's a great saw. Don't get me wrong, I love the Balco. Large ferrocerium rod. This is a spark throwing machine. Good test to see how good these things are is if you can stand up and strike it, and if the sparks hit the ground and bounce across the floor, you got a good ferrocerium rod. Can't remember where I got this one. It's got some weight to it, but it's great for starting fires and getting wet tinder going. It's a good little tool to have. Next, inside is a bunch of fat wood. If you live here in the Pacific Northwest, any other time of the year, it is constantly wet. The ground's like a sponge. Everything's moist. Gathering dry tinder is a little time consuming sometimes, and sometimes you just want to get a fire going as quick as possible. So I carry quite a few pieces of fat wood. When it's really bad out, it'll take a full stick of fat wood in order to get the fire going. Inside is my journal. This is my my pride and joy. This is where I keep all my skills, all my things I've tried, information that I just can't remember all the time. This is a leather journal I make for them. It's made out of a moleskin journal company. I'll show you some of the pictures from inside. So these are a lot of my information and drawings and skill sets I've tried to learn from books. I use it for references, or sometimes if I'm just in the woods and I'm trying to come up with a project, I'll just start flipping through the pages, and you never know what you come up with. But if you're going to become proficient in the woods, I suggest you keep a journal. It's nice to look back and see what you've done, but it's also nice to reference it every once in a while, so that the next time you go out, you're like, okay, I've tried this, next I should try this, and so on and so on. Once you start carrying a journal, your skill sets and your craft sets will go up exponentially with it. And the last 2 things, I carry one of these brass match holders, and it's got a double O-ring for keeping the matches dry. And on the top is a liquid-filled compass. This is really good to have. I got a compass in my camera kit, but this is another good one to have in my hand. If I'm trying to work my way through the woods, it's a quick and easy one. Shove it in my pocket, pick it back up, hold it by my fist, and just kind of cardinal directions and just kind of go. And last is the old-fashioned Boy Scout pocket knife. This is good for camp chores, small little whittling projects. Just you know, if you're just messing around with camp, put it in your pocket with the matchbooks, and you know, you got 2 of your essentials right there to keep you good in the woods. This is the one that I found at an antique store. I got it for, I think, like $9. Sharpened it back up, cleaned it all up, did a little TLC, put a little polish on it, and it's gonna last me forever. So it's a good one to have. That's it. So that's everything I carry in the haversack, and that is my kit. That pretty much every time I'm in the woods, this is what's going with me. The only thing that I probably should have mentioned was I carry a blind horse knife. They're not around anymore. It's battle horse knives now, but this is the Pathfinder, Woodsman's Pro with a micarta. This one really fits my hand. This is a good all-around knife, nice and thick. It's got a nice weight to it. I do a lot of craft working with this, and a lot of use. And then the other thing I carry is another ferrocerium rod on the outside. My stepdad made these, and we used to sell them in the store. I fell in love with them, so I had to grab one for myself. I haven't used it yet because I'm afraid to, because it just looks too good with my knife. I'll admit, I'm keeping it pretty as long as I can. It's there for a backup, but it's not there for day-to-day use. That's it. Until next time, come see us at PacificNorthwestBushcraft.com and come see some of our products, and keep coming back. And this is our first video, so bear with me. We're gonna keep going from there. This is just a start. There's many more videos planned. We're gonna do some for the Pacific Northwest Bushcraft Camp. We're going to plan on doing one for the Pacific Northwest ground cloth, foraging bag, some of our products, just do a product, and then a couple woods projects that I plan on doing down there at the camp. And I'll try to fill it in between a couple of these outdoor adventures here and there. So see you next time.